Of all the highly strange experiences that are reported around the Great Lakes, there is one that is so bizarre in nature to hear that it reshapes the very way we view our own relationship with water. It's an experience often summarized in a single sentence. The rain ruined my beach trip. We all know how frustrating it can be, and yet it still warrants a laugh when we consider the ridiculous concept that fresh water can be ruined by the addition of fresh water, simply by changing its orientation from horizontal to vertical. In our lives, horizontal and vertical water go hand in hand. It's commonplace when we pour ourselves a glass of water from the tap, or splash around at a water park, or shower in a bathtub. So, what then is it about that beach rain that just seems so out of place? As we drain out that sneaker that our cell phone was hiding in, we can hypothesize that maybe it just seems out of place because we weren't expecting it. Hello, and welcome, my freshwater friends, to episode 38 of the About the Water podcast, an exploration of high strangeness on and around the Great Lakes. Today, we'll start our journey in Cleveland, Ohio, where a short drive south of town will find us swimming in the unexpected as we move cautiously about the water. Episode 38, An Odd Meet. Big water up, little water down. It was that exact mantra that kept sisters, Erin and Marissa, perpetually in love with their hometown. Cleveland, Ohio's big water was hard to miss. 13 miles of Lake Erie shoreline form the northern border, a beautiful backdrop for one of North America's truly iconic fresh coast cities. The little water lie to the south of the city, in the surrounding suburbs and towns, a labyrinth of rivers and creeks and streams, all surrounded by a network of trails, passing historical sites and beautiful natural landscapes. Sprinkled around the area, like hidden treasures, are waterfalls, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be found by those who know to look for them. And look, Erin and Marissa did. Every chance they got. A 25-minute drive south of downtown took the sisters to one of their favorite places in the entire area, Viaduct Park. From the parking lot, a brief quarter-mile walk led the sisters to one of their favorite views in the entire Midwest, the Great Falls of Tinker's Creek. The area felt akin to an archaeological discovery site, unearthing evidence of a lost civilization, one that was very good at engineering. The huge railway viaduct was well over 150 years old, and the 500-foot-long stone arch water tunnel that routed the entire waterway beneath the railway was a testament to their construction abilities. Various remnants from the industrial sites that were near the falls can still be seen throughout the area. Ruins of the grist mill, the sawmill, and the early hydroelectric power station that were there. The late October air was particularly chilly. The forest floor was just warm enough to shake off the snow that was still clinging to the shale walls of the gorge and the needles of the eastern hemlocks. As the two approached the fall's overlook, they stopped, dead in their tracks. "Wow," Marissa said, one-upped, as usual, by Erin. "Double wow." The two stood in awestruck silence, leaning against the rail of the observation platform, watching as the water cascaded the 20 feet over the falls and down to the creek below. The water levels in the creek were particularly high, and the entire 80-foot crest was now covered in ice-cold, roaring water. Wow. Double wow. They seem to like it too, Aaron said, looking around for the group of cheering onlookers. The sound echoed off the rocky terrain, but there wasn't anyone else in sight yet. Aaron laughed. What you think, Marissa? Winter wedding party photos, or did some nerds find a geocache? Marissa didn't respond. She was fixated, totally silent, and staring towards the base of the falls. Aaron put a hand on her shoulder, asking if she was okay. Shh, Marissa insisted. Aaron, did you hear that? For the next minute or so, the pair listened, intently. It's coming from the water. Aaron, someone needs our help. Aaron rolled her eyes. They don't need help, they're cheering. People don't cheer when they need help. Aaron had a point, one which Marissa acknowledged with a shrug and a nod, as her sister continued anyway. Yay! Help me! I fell over a waterfall! Woohoo! And now I'm gonna freeze to death in a cold creek! Marissa smacked her sister's shoulder. All right, I get it. Knock it off. That shale can really make the sound travel, huh? It's probably a group somewhere along the trail or maybe in one of the nearby residential areas. After a few more minutes of relaxed observation of the absolutely gorgeous falls, Marissa shivered, cursing at her thin hoodie for not being up to the task in the unseasonably frigid autumn breeze. The two agreed to head back to the car. As they turned to set off back down the trail, the freezing, heavy air suddenly clawed at their lungs as they gasped at what they saw. 30 feet overhead, about 20 feet in front of them, was a large, rectangular prism. It was transparent. It rippled beautifully, brilliantly, reflecting shining diamonds of sunlight in all directions. Waving lines danced, wiggling and then snapping back into place, the refracted images of the tree branches behind it. Aaron knew, without a doubt in that moment, she had just seen her first UFO. Her sister, however, had a different perspective. It's water, Marissa said. Huh, it's water. She took a few steps closer to it, slowly, as she observed. Aaron, there's got to be 1,000 gallons of it there. Aaron was too afraid to move. Marissa was too curious to run away. When the cheering rang out once again, there was no mistaking exactly where it came from. It was emanating from inside the object. Aaron grabbed the side of her sister's hoodie and desperately tried to pull her towards the trail leading back to the car. Marissa didn't hear her sister's increasingly panicked pleas. She was hypnotized, absolutely captivated by the beauty of the glistening waters. Nothing contained it. It wasn't in anything. It was just there. A huge 30-foot rectangle of water, not spilling a single drop. Somehow it was so impossible that she simply accepted its presence there. We have to go! We don't even know what that thing is, Aaron begged. Marissa chuckled. It's a pool. It's a swimming pool, look. She inched even closer. Look, down there at the left side, those black T-shaped things, those are reflections of lane lines. And the whistle, it's a pool. Using every known curse word in Webster's dictionary, Aaron then asked Marissa emphatically just what in the world a completely transparent swimming pool was doing floating amongst the treetops. Before Marissa could even register the question, the pair watched as they received confirmation that she was, in fact, correct. A young man, maybe in his late teens or early 20s, wearing maroon swimmer's briefs and shaded swim goggles, suddenly swam into view. He was traveling quickly from right to left, using what appeared to be a perfectly executed butterfly stroke. Aaron had seen enough. She used her older sister's size advantage to physically grab Marissa and drag her towards the trail. and as she did, the swimmer suddenly stopped and looked directly at them, his gaze following the sisters as they moved. Aaron and Marissa froze in place, watching as the man then rose his hand towards them, seeming to hold it out to the very edge of the water before he opened his mouth. The man's quite literally drowned-out scream of terror echoed through the woods. He appeared to climb towards the top of the water and completely out of sight, setting a new aquatics world record in fastest pool exit, while the sisters set a land speed record in the quarter-mile dash back to the car. The two of them arrived, very frightened and very out of breath, and very, very thankful that they heard absolutely no one cheering them on. The way in which you and I find ourselves privy to this particular instance of high strangeness is on its own one of my favorite stories, so I hope you don't mind if I share it real quick. Many years before this show was even a thought, I was traveling along the southern end of Lake Erie, and on my way through Cleveland, stopped around some of the area's waterfalls. It was mid-November at the time, and the area was snowy. It was absolutely breathtaking, but very, very cold. When I got to the observation platform for the Great Falls, there were just a few people standing there, including two sisters, with whom I exchanged a casual and pleasant good morning. And then, my incessant need to say something stupid every chance I get prevailed, and completely oblivious to the experience that they had had right there previously, I look away from the falls and over at them, and say, "Nice day for a swim." Their perfectly synchronized slow head turn and their matching bewildered expressions begged the question, why on earth would I choose those words? I wasn't sure why, but I could tell the comment didn't quite land, so I apologized and just explained that I was going for a joke about how cold the water was. When I explained that, they had a good laugh and then shared the story that we just heard. So in terms of analysis, there seems to be no doubt as to what the object was. It was a 3D rectangle of water. It was the shape of a competition swimming pool. It was the size of a competition swimming pool. It had lane lines, and for lack of a better term, it emitted all of the classic swim meet sounds. And then, without a doubt, the addition of that swimmer seems to support our hypothesis. That poor guy. In case you're curious, no, I haven't been able to find him. Maybe one day we will, and then we can hear this whole thing again from a very different perspective. Both of the sisters agree that the swimmer looked maybe late high school age, probably early college. And in either case, there's a number of regional high schools and universities that have swimming programs, and a school color theme that would include maroon garments, that their male swimmers would then obviously be seen using to cover up their selves. So since we have a pretty good idea as to what it was, now the question that needs answering is, how did 1,000 tons or so of unhoused water find its way up into the forest canopy? Neither of the sisters believe that the object was actually there in the first place. Erin can't explain why, but her senses could just feel that it wasn't there. And in retrospect, that's actually what scared her the most. And to this day, when she goes by that area, still does. Marissa agrees with her sister, but with a bit of an asterisk. She's convinced that she and her sister got a glimpse of the water through something. That particular patch of Bedford, Ohio sky turned into a window of sorts. And what they saw through that window was a swim meet from a very bizarre viewpoint. So going with that assumption, we are now ready for a competitive meet of our own. Those of us who believe that we live in a simulation are going to have to go up against those of us who believe in multiple universes. It's Team Glitch versus Team Rift. Bad programming versus wormhole, and the winner gets, well, maybe an explanation. Whichever side you find yourself on, good luck. And if you're not sure which lane you belong in here, you're in good company. You can come sit on the bleachers with me, and we'll just do the cheering, all the while wondering who else can hear us. And with that, thank you sincerely for listening. May each lap you take around these strange waters be as grand, beautiful, and enduring as our Great Lakes. I'll see you about the water.